Welcome. I'm Sebastian Mahfoud, and you're listening to WCAT Radio, the on-air wing of En Route Books and Media, bringing you the dulcet sounds of Catholic wisdom.
What is your profession?
Saddle up. Lock and load.
Domine Patri et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. You're listening to Fire Away with Carlos Bersabe, brought to you by Catholic Ammo, En Route Books and Media, and WCAT Radio, where we're locked, loaded, and ready for battle with today's hot topics. Howdy, everybody. This is your host, Carlos Bersabe. You're listening to episode 45 of Fire Away. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe via iTunes or whatever platform you are using and give us a great rating. It is truly appreciated and it helps a lot. Okay, so before we get into this, I know I haven't recorded in over a month, and I apologize. I've just been so busy. But at the same time, I am back. And not only am I back, I have a special guest on today's show, and I will introduce her in a little bit. But before we do that, let's do a quick recap. Because I was moved by Ethan's passion to defend the faith, and because he did it so well, I brought Ethan Worsland, a.k.a. at Catholic Armory, from Instagram. I brought him onto the show, and we learned that he is discerning the priesthood or religious life. Only heaven knows. And Ethan, if you're out there listening, know that you're in our prayers, brother. And wherever God leads you, I know you'll say yes. But that was last episode, folks. So what do we have for today's episode? Well, for today's hot topic, we're going to go to flip the script and talk about the March for Life. And because I couldn't be there, and because I know somebody who went, I brought her onto this show, and that somebody is the famed guest and my sister from another mister, Vivyan Hamo.
Hi. Hello. Hi, Carlos. Thank you for inviting me again. I'm really honored.
Oh, man.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Oh, we are so glad to have you back on. I know so many listeners out there who are going, yeah, just like you're hearing in the crowd. We are so happy. So happy. It's been a long, long time coming, and we are happy to have you back. But, I think before we go any further, I let that word slip, prayer. I do think it would be great if you could lead us in another beautiful opening prayer.
Absolutely. It will be my honor. I'll pray in my language, Aramaic, Our Father. So, Shemid Baba, Brona, Roha, Tqotcha, Khalamin. بابا ديل بشمية بايش مقدشة شموخ أثيا ملكوثوخ هاوي إجبونوخ دغديل بشمية هادخ هم بأرقى هلن لخمة تاس مقوند إديو شوق طالا جناهن واختياثا دغده هم مخني شوقلن داني دحطيلي إلن لما بيرتم جرابة إلا مخالصا مبيشة سبب ديو خيلة ملكوثة خيلة وتجبحت العالم عالمين آمين شو حتى بابا برونا روحا قدشة خالها آمين.
Amen. Thank you so much for that, Vivyan.
Absolutely.
All right, so here's the situation report. You got to go to the March for Life, and I am a little jealous. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that was my first experience in March for Life. And I can't wait to talk about it because there's so much to share with everyone who didn't go.
All right, so here's the bottom line up front for all our listeners out there. Today we are going to talk about, Vivyan's experience at the March for Life. We're going to talk about all the different, things that are surrounding the March for Life right now, especially, particularly the Nick Sandman and Philip, I can't remember his last name, It's slipping off the top of my head. The Native American fellow who had a little bit of some contretemps, and we're going to talk a lot about that only because I think it's important for Catholics out there to, one, grow in their holiness, and two, stay informed so that they can defend the faith. And three, I think it's so awesome that we have Vivyan back on. And, I think before we get into the meat of the topic for today, I would be remiss if I didn't ask how you've been these many months that I haven't had a chance to talk to you on the show. So the last time you came on the show, you talked about how you came to the United States and whatnot. But this time, I want to know what has been going on in your very busy and interesting life since I last talked with you.
Oh, wow. Actually, a lot happened, a lot of good things, actually. God has been good, even in my darkest hours. He's just so good. I can't really count the blessing. So what's happening is this year, God's willing, if God gave me a long life, I'll be going to nursing school starting August. I'll be making my way up finally after many years of waiting. I'll be volunteering in the homeless shelter, and I always bring this up because that's where I met someone, a manager from the hospital, and the homeless shelter that I went last year, it was in 2017, was a blessing for me to start my career at the hospital. So that's why I'm doing it every year, because through homeless shelter, God really showed his mercy upon me, and where I found the job to the hospital and I got my feet in the door. It's been good. For the faith, for the faith, actually, it's always up and down. I can't say it's been perfect because I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be down more than up, because when I'm down, I can remember God more. I can be more patient. I can pray. I can always remember that I should not lean on any man, which I mean by any man, like even man or woman, but, just expression. That's how I say it. But it's beautiful. I've been trying to grow my faith more and more. I've been trying to kind of do more work, for the homeless shelter. And I'm doing a project, which is I'm waiting. I can't talk about it, but this year is going to be really an interesting year. So just stay tuned. When it's pop out, I'll let you know the first one, of course. But it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm so excited about this year. I'm so excited about my working in homeless shelter again. To remember that from this place, God, showed me that there's good people wherever you go. And when you do good, good will always come back to you.
Oh, man. I can't believe. So there's something that's amazing that's going to happen, but you can't talk about it. We just have to wait. Oh, my gosh. Why did you?
I know. I'm sorry. I have to make sure it's going to happen first before I break the news. So I'm just waiting for it.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. So you promise that when the news breaks, we'll get the first interview on what it's about.
Yes, I promise. We'll be with you. I promise.
Okay. I'm excited. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited because I know whatever it is, it's going to be Christ-filled, and it's going to be wonderful because you're going to be involved in it and probably leading the charge. That's awesome. That is way too cool.
Thank you.
All right. Well, for me, I haven't really – I wish I could have that same energy that you do. Because for me, for the last however many, it's all I can think about doing is work, and more work. One guy on our team had a heart attack. He's okay now. They put stents in him. The other two, it's actually good news, but it still means that I have to help fill in their spots. They had kids, so two guys are on paternity leave. So it's just been nonstop missions for the most part. I am happy to be home with my family though for a week, so that's nice before I go fly out again. So. But,
that's amazing. And I have to tell you all the time, thank you for your service. Your work, it's if people never tell you that or forget, I will tell you this. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your service, because we appreciate it big time, big time. So.
Oh, I appreciate that, sis. Thank you so much. That always makes me feel good. But in all honesty, for anybody out there listening, I appreciate it. It's God's calling in my life for the time being. It's a privilege and honor to be able to serve. So that's awesome. But at the same time, like people like you, going back to today's topic and being on the front lines, literally on the front lines. I saw your picture. It was really cool. So I gotta know now. So were you always planning on going to the March for Life this year? How did that come about?
Okay, so I always been like respectfully jealous of people that can go like over, mission trips and the youth and the March for Life. So it was through my friend who, she's like, Vivyan, are you coming this year for March of Life? I'm like, next year. I was like, and she sent me in December, like beginning of December. I'm like, no, what do you mean there's a March of Life? She's like, yeah, our churches is doing it. And she sent me the link. Without her, I would have never known that there will be March for Life. So she was an angel that she really thought of me because she knows how much I love it. So she sent me the link, and right away, just like I got goosebumps. I'm like, I didn't even look at the cost. I was like, I have to go. I have to go. And, it's been like a week to think about it. Like, should I do this and this? And I have nursing classes I have to take now to prepare me for the nursing school, whatever. But I just signed up. And I waited for it. And I was so happy. But then like before I go, I mentioned in my article that I become sick a little bit. And I was about to call in. I was like, I need to call in, I can't do it. But then I was like, hey, I'm not dying. I'm not in ICU. I have my legs. I have my arms. I think I can survive. So I grabbed my stuff. And the funny thing that they sent me an email that they have to leave the church early. And I went a little bit late, actually extra a little bit late. And as soon as I got, it was a funny story. So my friend's like, Vivyan, when you get to the bus, just don't be scared. Everyone will clap for you. I'm like, for what? She's like, because you're late. I'm like, oh, sweet baby Jesus. So as soon as I went to the bus and the priest was like, you are Vivyan? I'm like, yeah. Clap for Vivyan. And everyone was clapping. And I felt so shy. My cheeks were so red. I'm like, oh my God. So everyone has been like doing like jokes about it, which like, it's so hilarious. Like, okay, let's call name. Is everyone here? Vivyan, are you here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. So every single time we stop at the place to rest, they will call my name first. Where's Vivyan? I'm like, Father, come on. He's like, you're the hot topic. Like, I cannot. I'm like, you know what? Yeah. You're a father. I can't really argue with you. So, yeah, it was really funny. It ended up really funny. So,
So how long was that bus ride?
11 hours.
11 hours. Did you guys stay the night anywhere, or was it 11 hours worth it?
11 hours. But well, I mean, it would be like 8 hours, but we stopped, I believe 2 times or 1 time. We stopped 1 hour at Ohio. We ate and everything, but it was total 11 hours. And the same day, there was a March for Life. So we did not get to sleep and go next day. March for Life was still the same day. So we got only 1 hour to dress up, get ready, and just go to march, go to rally.
Oh, wow. So you guys got there on the day that it was taking place?
Yes.
But did you guys at least stay the night, or did you guys drive back after it was done?
No, after it was done, we stayed there one night. And
okay.
Next day, we wanted to stay even next day, but not in a hotel, just to drive around the churches and to do mass in one church that one of our priests would be doing the mass. Unfortunately, there was like a big storm coming to Philadelphia, and the highway coming back to Michigan was about to be closed. So we had to leave at 7 a.m. and we arrived 7 p.m. It was long, and we were driving probably 20 because there was accidents. Every hour you see accidents.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, and this was from the church you attend, which is Chaldean Catholic, is that right?
Yep, St. Joseph. Mm-hmm.
All right. So what is it like? And were these mostly women, all women, some men, some women? How was the makeup of your group?
So it was beautiful. It was mixed. And guess what? There were people flew from Australia and San Diego. So San Diego. So it was total of 100 Chaldean. That's what I heard. We were total 100 Chaldean. Because in the bus, we were kind of like, I don't know how many, like maybe less than 50 or 50. I don't really quite remember, but it was a long bus. But I heard that there was some that flew from here to DC, and some came from San Diego and Australia. So it was amazing to see them like all coming. I didn't know. I was like, oh, we only 50, and they're like, oh no, just wait till we go to arena. And it was like, whoa, 100 Chaldean. It was mixed.
So what did you guys do on that bus ride for the most part? You guys were sleeping, praying?
No, we prayed. We prayed the rosary, and then we prayed Divine Mercy. And then, somewhere sleeping. I did not sleep. I was just moving like a chicken from place to place. Because I gave my place to my best friend, and I was like, she could not sleep in one seat, and I got 2 seats empty. So I was like, you can have my seat. And guess what? I was not sleeping. Her cousin was next to me, and I was sleeping on her shoulder, and then I was sleeping on my back, and my kidney started to hurt. Oh my God, I'm having infection already in my kidney.
Oh man.
But it was so funny. Like, it was worth it though. Don't get me wrong. It was worth it, but I'm telling you, it was suffering. I felt it was purgatory at some point.
Oh man, that's a good way to put it. A lot of people, you can unite your suffering. You can give your suffering meaning. And that's great. That's a great attitude to take. So that when you guys got there, you had an hour to change. Where did you guys go?
We stopped at McDonald's, and that was the only place like close to arena because we can't go anywhere further. And believe me, all the restrooms in McDonald's were booked by us. Ladies making the makeup like this and changing, and it was World War III going on. It was just so funny at the same time because I was eating, and guess what? I was the last one eating too. And the priest looked at me. He's like, "Are you enjoying?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And I literally swallowed the whole sandwich. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm swallowing it because you're looking at me." He's like, "Yeah, because you're late." I'm like, "You know what? I'm going to the bus." That's it. I'm going to the bus. And he was laughing so hard. I'm like, I'm going to the bus.
Oh man! All right. So after you guys got changed and you went over to the arena, what arena did you guys go to? What does that mean, the arena?
What was the name of it? It was Capital One.
Oh, okay.
It was Capital One. Was really big. What I mean by arena is like, they told me it's a Capital One. It's like a big stadium. Is that what you call like big? When you watch when you go to watch footballs, when you go like a big stadium, whatever. That was like that. It was so huge. Imagine, it was so huge that 600,000 people they were around. So it was huge, like really huge. It was amazing. It was a big mass. There was famous speakers speaking. There was some choir, and then here come the mass, and beautiful, magical.
Oh, so you guys celebrated mass in the arena?
Yes, and the Pope, he gave indulgence to anyone who came there. They have the right, if you confess there and have the Eucharist, they give you the indulgence, whatever. I can't really pronounce it, but like,
okay.
I know. It was a fun story about this, but anyways, they said like when you go to purgatory, it will be like less time for you. So that's what it means. I did not really confess there because I'm a kind of person that I need to be like private. So, but like if you go like next Sunday, it will be still acceptable from the day next Sunday. Like you have a week to do it.
Oh, okay, right on. That's awesome. All right, so you guys were there, some speakers, some music, the mass, and then what happened next?
And then we go to rally. So each group will be with their own priest, nun, wherever who comes, and then that's when you march. I think we walked 3 miles.
Oh, okay. 3 miles.
So I think we reached the Supreme Court. Is that where we were? I know we had to stop somewhere, but it was like 3 miles. And then before we reached to the destination that we have to stop, there was Ben Shapiro. Everyone I know, they know him. And then the vice president was there and the wife. And then there was one of the another speaker or another one from the political Democrat Party that was there too. So it was really interesting that they were giving speech about it. So it was amazing.
That's awesome.
And the president, he did like a FaceTime giving us a message of the encouragement,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I think he's, if memory serves correct, I think he'd be the first president to do that.
It is. It's beautiful, amazing, and it really give you encouragement. Was beautiful. I can't really describe it.
Oh man, I tell you, that's really cool. So while you guys were marching, that the 3 miles, I think on your Instagram post you said it was 18,000 steps.
Yes.
Yeah, were you wearing like one of those fancy watches? Is that what it was?
No, I used to, but after a week, I'm like, I don't need this fancy watch. I can't do that. Yeah, but my friend, she was wearing it, and she's like, "Look at this." I'm like, "Whoa!" She's like, "We walked." Oh no, wait, sorry. That was that at the march. No, that was in our Chaldean group alone. We walked 18 steps. No, that was not in the march. Sorry, no, that was because after 3:30 we were allowed to go anywhere we want in the DC to have fun. So that's how we didn't like only the Uber. It like get us to some point, and then we were walking for 18 steps with the Chaldean group.
Wow, 18,000 steps because you guys couldn't get an Uber?
No, because we're just like Chaldeans, you know. We're smart.
Okay, that's what you guys do. That's awesome.
That's what you guys do.
Oh man! All right, so while you guys were walking the 3 miles from the arena to, I'm guessing the Capitol building. I'm not entirely,
Yeah.
or the Supreme Court, or whichever building. You guys walked to. What did you see? What did you hear? What were you guys doing?
Okay, that's really interesting and hot topic. Let me tell you this. I'll be honest. It fills my heart with joy not to see more elderly people. With all my respect, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Really, I do. But to see young people coming from miles away and to for a good cause, that's amazing. That's inspiring. I mean, who would leave, the family or whatever behind and come just to walk 3 miles for unborn babies? They know why they're coming. It was not to show off, for real. You cannot force anyone to do something that they don't want to do, especially here in the United States. So that was really below my mind and such a beautiful. I saw some stuff during the rally that really bothered me and bugged me a lot. I saw a lot of people against the Catholic Church. Catholic Church is evil. Catholic Church are lying to you. And
What?
Yeah, it was. I don't know how to describe it. It was really, and some of them were cursing on us, swearing at us. It was really, at some point, it bugs me so much that I was yelling, "We pray for you, we pray for you." I was yelling, "We're gonna pray for you, we're gonna pray for you." And you can see that the youth were stopping by them and tell them like, why you're doing this, and they're like, "No, there's no." Yeah, it was really like they were debating, and I'm like, "No, just walk. We're not gonna stop. We came from a good cause. I'm not gonna stop and get distracted by stuff around me." But I was shocked that even when we have our rally was the most peaceful, the most beautiful prayers, smiling. You look at people, you don't know them. They will look at you like, "Hi, thank you for doing this." Literally, I don't know how many people I said this and they said this to me. We don't even know them. So. But there was a lot of people against us, which was just, heartbreaking.
And
Anyway.
this was other marchers, or were these
No, they were literally standing at some locations, and then they were just yelling with the speakers. "Catholic Church is evil. Catholic Church are lying. They're like this. They're like this. Only Jesus can save you." And in my mind, I'm like, I think we believe in Jesus. I'm pretty sure. We do, but like I did not stop. I'm like, nope, there was distractions. Let me just continue my walk for the unborn babies.
Oh
And I
my gosh!
I saw some videos that there was women that yelling and saying that they had the abortions and they're proud of it. I did not come through those women.
Oh man!
But I did not come. Thank God, because I'll be probably crying out loud. To hear someone saying this, it's like, are you proud of it? Like. But I feel bad for those people, At some point, I know because they took freedom different way. They take their my body, my choice in way different way. So that's why I do really think those people like they need prayers. You can't debate them. And there was people debating them, but guess what? It become worse. You cannot. There's no win in debating someone that is really. Their brain is a rock, they're already having like this thought, like, nope, my body, my choice. So, yeah.
That's the sad part, I think, that we've come to in the country. I don't know, probably in the world. like say for example, I'd post something on Instagram, and I'm sure you get it too, a whole lot more because you have way more followers. But it's one of those things to where I don't know if people wake up in the morning and open their phone and just go, you know what, I want to get offended today. Like I'm talking to fellow Catholics. My posts are generally for fellow Catholics so that they learn about their faith and this, that, and the other. But then I'll have like, Protestants, atheists, whatever, and go, blah, blah, just like you were saying, like, hey, down with the Catholic Church. I'm like, you can say whatever you want. I'm not going to yell back at you. I'm not going to snap back at you because that's not dialogue. There's nothing being positively done with all that negativity. And then, I can't believe that that's terrible that you had to hear these women shout proudly about them having themselves having an abortion. That just sounds terrible.
But do you know what really made me happy too? That we were not only Catholic doing the march. I saw Lutheran. I saw a lot of signs different than branches from the Catholic Church. Which I saw Orthodox. I did saw a lot of different branches, and it just it shook me. I mean, one thing to clarify is March for Life is not against women. We need to make this point really in bold. I need to write it in bold. I don't march against women. I march for you because the society that you are following, the march, women march, is to tell you like, hey, you know what? Abuse your body. You have the right to abuse your body. You have the right to not to be the mother because you don't deserve to be a mother. It was only a mistake. And they get this idea. And guess what? It was only maybe like 10,000. Or 90,000 in the march for Women March. And I was looking at this video of a woman asking them why they march. I don't want to swear, but if you watch that video, your eyes will be rolling. They don't know why they're marching. Like that woman, she's so smart that she's asking them questions about like abortion. And at some point, guess what? They slip and say, yeah, it's a murder. And some women be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's a murder. You know what? They be like slithering. They don't know what to talk anymore. And some of them, they'll be like so mad at the women who were interviewing them that they were like, you know what? I'm leaving. Bye.
Oh,
so
man.
I don't know who's that woman, but I mean, she's so wise. She was so calm, just asking questions. And guess what? None of them knew why they were marching. Like, oh, it's her woman. It's her choice. But I was just one answer, one sense in your answer, none. So I was like, wow. Like what shook me again is that people in the media did not cover that there was 600,000 in the March for Life. And all our signs were so beautiful, so pure, so coming from the heart. And for 90,000 for Women's March, it was all like, sorry for the word, disgusting costume, disgusting signs. Is that how we want to guide our kids? Is that how we want our kids to open their eyes? Like, let's be honest. When you don't have God, and guess what? There was people who believe in God and march for women. And when this woman were asking them, she was pregnant and she was like, you have a baby? She's like, yeah. She's like, would you abort her? She's like, no, I love her. She's like, then why are you marching? She stood like, huh? Literally, like with no answer. She was just like shocked by her question. Why are you marching? You have a baby inside of you. You're marching for what? To kill your baby? So I'm telling you, it was like heartbreaking. But at the same time, when I see people against us, it always proves Jesus' word. They will persecute you. They did it for me. They will do it for you. A comfortable Christian is not a Christian. I don't care how many times you pray. I don't care how many times you go to the church. If you're comfortable, if you say, I'm the most comfortable Christian, you are not. We cannot be comfortable because people will hate us. People hate truth. They hate justice. They hate God's laws, period.
I tell you, and it's not going to get any easier. And that's one of the things I think that a lot of folks out there forget is that it's not going to be like a golden age where the Catholic Church is going to go unopposed. even in, whenever people, especially the traditionalists, who are like, prior to Vatican II, everything was hunky-dory and the church was the best that it ever was. We're a pilgrim church. We're a warrior church. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be comfortable. We're not going to be able to look at a time and go, that's how the church should be. It shouldn't change after that. We have to travel on our way to heaven. It's going to be different, but at the same time, the same nonetheless. So I'm going to throw something at you real quick. Since you were talking about the Women's March and people shouting their abortions at you, have you heard about what they're doing in New York with the quote-unquote Reproductive Health Act that they're doing up there?
I think I read something about it, an article that I think, did they make like abortion legal or something like that? I did not really pay attention, but I think I heard something at New York that people were really mad about this decision. I was not sure what was exactly though.
So basically, they're going to allow abortion up to birth.
Wow.
Like if they were ever going, well, this isn't a person. It's kind of like that one video where this lady was talking about the magical birth canal, how suddenly you become a person right when you leave the birth canal, but before that you're not a person. This is ridiculous.
It is. And guess what? Like you said, it's not going to get easy. If we're Catholic are dreaming to save the whole world, do not do that. You cannot save the whole world. You cannot, period. Please. I just have to say this over. There's a lot of Catholics that are trying to force, they're trying to think that, oh, you know what, if I convert this person, everything's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. You cannot save everyone. Not everyone would want to go to heaven, basically. And I heard another thing that when a baby is born, I was not sure, it's California or New York, those two states are really getting down. One of them, they're saying that if the baby is born, they won't say if it's male or female. They will say like it's X, whatever, something like that, the name of it. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so I work in the hospital, and someone, if they kidnap a baby, baby's X is kidnapped. Are you kidding me? Just think about it. If a baby is kidnapped from the hospital, how would I know what sex is it? Would they be like, oh, it's a male or it's an X because we don't want to offend the baby? People do not think at all. Like I said again, they are abusing the freedom that we have. They are abusing God's gift. And when you abuse God's gift, it's going to turn really bad.
Oh, really. Yeah. Absolutely. Terribly bad. And speaking of bad, and I know I mentioned it earlier in the introduction, but that poor boy, or these poor boys, but especially that one who was smiling, Nathan Phillips. I finally remembered the Native American guy's name. Oh my gosh! They showed a snippet, right? Did you hear about this? The Covington High School, Catholic high school in Kentucky. They were at the Lincoln Memorial, I guess. And there were some other demonstrators there. Did you hear about what happened?
Yes. And I'll be honest, I was kind of too judgy. Like I only saw the clip where they cut it. And I was disappointed. I was like, you know what? We are Catholic. We should not do that. But when I saw the whole video, I was shocked. I was like, God, forgive me. I should have really waited and researched for it before I really comment. And even the page who shared this, he was really so like sorry for it. Like, I'm so sorry. I posted it without really looking into it. So it's horrible. Yeah. It's horrible. And I heard that he did this again in 2015 with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, the Native American guy. I guess he's kind of like a professional demonstrator of some sort now. But one of the things so for all the listeners out there, I'm not the Chicken Little kind of guy where the world is ending. And one of the things that the military has taught me, especially in leadership positions, is whenever someone comes to you with a problem or a crisis, initial reporting is hardly ever the best reporting. Definitely take action off of it, and usually that action is to go find out what the facts are. But I remember when I saw that clip, I was just smiling because the person who had sent it to me was trying to go, and this was one of those quote-unquote liberal-type Catholics, was trying to make me feel bad about the March for Life because I guess she's a pro-choice Catholic, if that's not really a thing. But that's what she's saying anyhow. And she's showing me this and showing me the MAGA hat, the Make America Great Again hat, and this white kid and this white boy. And then apparently I'm supposed to go, oh my gosh, you're right. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, that was about maybe 30 seconds that you showed me. What happened before and after? I want to know the real story before you try to get me to just feel feelings of anger or disappointment or whatever. And she's like, well, I don't know. So I was like, so you don't even know the full story? Because this kid is smiling. Yeah, he looks a little bit like a jerk. But at the same time, one of the things that I saw was this guy was like banging his drum right in this kid's face. Why? I was going, okay, I get it. Both of you guys want to stand your ground. But if for me, if the right decision, if the wise decision to de-escalate anything was going to be made by anyone, it should be the older person. The older person should go, you know what, I am more mature. Let me step away from this. This kid doesn't know anything. It's like he's a high school kid. High school kids don't know anything. They just don't. But this kid, he knew enough to not do anything actually disrespectful other than maybe smile and didn't say a word. He said prayers while he was, while this stuff was happening to him. My goodness. And now this kid is experiencing death threats.
Yeah, I was so, you know what, you have to look into it like this. So he wears Trump hat. I honestly, I don't wear it. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't like to really show off like this. Hey, I support Trump. I don't want to attract people in this way. But like you said, hey, you said it's America. Okay, freedom of whatever you wear. So for Women's March, they have the right to walk naked, sorry for the word, to dress their private parts, to make some kind of clothes with their private parts, and to walk in the street and to do scenes like abortion scenes with the blood and the baby coming. That's okay. But when a kid is wearing a hat because he's a fan of the president, that is racism.
That's crazy.
Where is fairness in this world? Wherever you are, wherever you praise out there, you need to really think before you talk. And you know how many people on my Facebook were sharing the story? And I was just frustrated. So I was waiting for the truth. When the truth came out, I literally just blow it. I was like, so whoever was sharing the kid's story, having proud that, hey, you know what, this is the Catholic Church, watch the story. He's an old man. Like I said, he's an adult. He should know better. And there was this native with him that he was yelling at the kids like, hey, you white boys, go back to Europe. I'm a native. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So you say that in your teenager years, you never did something wrong. You never did a mistake. But those kids, those kids did. They're teenagers. Just saying the word teenagers and makes sense. They're teenagers. He was the one who approached him with his drum. Like, what are you trying to show the media? Like, oh, you know what? I'm with my drum and the kids didn't move. You were not moving. You were not moving. You were standing in front of the kids for an evil thought. And when they did an interview with him, he started to cry. Why are you crying? What's your purpose in this? So, and what made me really happy that there was a lot of the political parties that backing up the kids, and a lot of celebrities that, hey, you know what, we got you. And there was a lot of lawyers that, hey, if you want to sue them, let me know. Good lawyers. Just let me know. I would sue them right away for you, and you will win, because you are literally abusing the kid. You are abusing the kid. And it just shook me that the way they were swearing at, call them white. So he had the right to call them white, but they have no right to just stand. And he was standing and smiling. He's a kid. He's smiling. He's looking like, okay, so you would re-jump. So what's your thought? It really broke my heart. I'm not defending anyone, but the video itself is defending the kids. And thanks for whoever really took the video, because it shows who approached who and who's really looking for more troubles. For more trouble. So it really like broke my heart that people just come to the conclusion. And you know what? There were some people posting that you should be never born.
That's terrible.
You should be
That's
never
bullying.
born. So if God forbid this kid's commit suicide, would you praise it? Well, so that's where you find the bullies. That's where you know if someone is a bully and a troublemaker. When you say this to anyone, I don't say this to anyone. Even to my worst enemies, I don't say that you should never born. I have no right to say this because I'm all pro-life. I'm not for pro-death. You know what? So when you say that he should be never born and tag him, you know what? They tag him, and I was about to reply, but I was like, no, it's gonna be World War III, so I'm just gonna listen. So they were tagging him. They're like, hey, you know what? Your life is done forever. You are doomed with the bad words with it. So it breaks my heart that this is where you find bullies. You don't find bullies where you just see it like, oh, he's bullying this because he's a homosexual or whatever. No, that's where you find where bullies come from. That's a bully. That's where you stop it. That's where the roots come out. When you see they wishing someone this is terrible.
I know. Yeah. It is, and one of the things, this was supposed to be, the March for Life. And I think,
thank you.
Like, I'm thinking to myself, especially when I saw the other protesters out there, because, this is America. You can stand in a lot of places and protest whatever it is that you want to protest. That's one of the great things about having the First Amendment is the freedom of speech. But at the same time, like if I had been a chaperone, and this is armchair quarterback, I get it. Armchair quarterback, this is hindsight's 2020. But if I had been one of the chaperones, I would have told those kids, break out your rosaries, boys and girls. We're about to pray right now, and then just pray. Like if they're saying that that's what that guy was doing was singing a prayer for his dead wife, then pray for his dead wife. You're like, hey, look, this guy's wife just died. Pray for the repose of her soul. Let's ask the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Granted, they probably didn't know that during the time because nobody was actually saying anything other than go home to Europe or whatever, turning it into a racial thing. But at the same time, like that kid, he needed some prayer buddies. That kid, Nick, he needed some prayer buddies praying with him because he said he was praying while it was happening. Those other kids, I get it, they were being kids. But if you're a chaperone, then chaperone. Be like, hey, everybody, break out your rosaries, let's pray. There's nothing that's going to be solved with shouting back and forth or trying to, because the other kids didn't make that video any nicer when they're, fake singing along with the Native American guy. It just seems like they're making fun of him. That's not going to help the situation. And that's one of those things that I'm just like, oh my goodness. And now their bishop, I think Bishop Foy or Archbishop Foy, isn't taking back what he said. Apparently, he's still holding these kids accountable more than the instigators, which is Nathan Phillips and company. It's terrible. It's just terrible.
See, I don't get this. I mean, like you said, honestly, I just say this in my comment. I was like, if I were the kid or whatever was with them, I would say, you know what, just let's pray. Let's just let them move. But for whoever didn't win for March for Life, again, it was 600,000 people. You have to stay in one place for your bus. You cannot move around. The bus will so those kids were waiting for their bus. They're not waiting for troubles.
Right.
Whoever didn't go. So I'm not making no excuse because I was there. I was waiting for the bus. You cannot go anywhere because the bus will leave you. So, because I did not meet a couple of people because of this. They're like, you know what? My bus is here. I cannot move. And those people, the funny thing is, like, they were like 2 minutes away from me. We could not even cross over. We could not. It was packed up. And the bus tell them, you wait here. You better wait here, period. And most of them just went back home right away. So they were waiting there for their bus. They're not waiting there. When they arrived there, I think the native were already there, but that was their stop sign. That there should be stopping there for their bus. So, and again, we should not throw the kids under the bus just because they're wearing a Trump hat. And let me tell you this, I see more violence against the pro-life. A lot of pro-lifers get like smacked, beaten up, speed up, and going to jail. For what? And I see anyone from Women's March who did this going to jail. So that's when you know where you stand is the right path, because we get beaten. Like I said, maybe we did not get beat up in the March for Life, but we get a lot of disgusting signs, disgusting language for us. And that was for March for us. We were not marching against anyone. We were not mentioning any religion, any culture. We were marching for a good cause. We know what we are marching for. So when you go and look at the Women's March, they march for selfish things. I want this. I want this abortion legal because it's my body. They want things. But what we want is not for ourselves. It's for the unborn, those who don't have a voice. So again, I pray for the kid, because I'm sure he's in a really critical situation now, because God knows how many people are messaging him bad things. And if he hear me or anyone who knows him, he heard this. I know you should have really probably just ignored it, but you were standing. I can see from the video you were standing, and the old man approached you. And I saw some comment that we respect older women. Yeah, you respect it, but if someone coming with a drum in front of you, and you're just smiling, that means you're disrespecting them? Why we don't look at the older? You are older. Shouldn't you be a role model for those kids? And like I said, there was an evil thought inside of him. He wanted to really like take advantage of it. And the kids, they're kids. If I were him, I would ignore. I would just like look down and just move, because I'm adult. You know, I'm adult. I know how to react. He's a kid. He's seeing this man approaching him with the drum, and he's just looking at him smiling, you know, just smiling. Did he say anything wrong? Did he swear? Actually, in his video, if you pay attention, he's saying when someone was debating with the native, he told him like to shush, to calm down. The kid, Nick, was telling the other kid to shush, to calm down, like don't say nothing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so it breaks my heart that, right away, we throw the kids under the bus, and we say, like, no bullies are bad. But I saw a lot of bullies under the mask. I saw a lot of bullies that I was shocked. And one of the men said that it's legal to shoot those kids.
What?
Are you kidding me? Yeah, they were saying it's legal to shoot those kids. So hey, really? So I'm telling you, that's where you see that it's turning into more than hate, into revenge. And did you see any pro-lifer do anything? Bullying anyone, rather praying. So you need to know where you stand, because guess what? Today you're here, tomorrow you're not here. Wherever you stand for, it shows its fruit. And I can see a lot of fruit of those who are against us, and you need to pray for them. You need big time, because they're missing a lot, and there's no sorry after this. No sorry at all.
Amen. So I got one last question for you, and on a happier note. So I know that you must have met some other people like from Instagram. I haven't actually met anybody, any other Catholic from Instagram, but I'm pretty sure you did, and I'm interested in who you met and what you guys talked about.
Oh my goodness, I can't even start. So the first one I met, I did not know. Some of them I did not know them. So I was walking, and they give you a free free, how should I say it? Free signs. Each sign says something about, pro-life and defund Planned Parenthood and stuff like that. So I saw this beautiful young lady, and I was like, may I have one sign? She's like, oh my God, are you Vivyan Hamo? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, I love you so much. And I was like, oh my God, mother of God. And I hugged her, and she hugged me, and it was the most beautiful. I could not stay, only like it was like a couple seconds, but she was so happy. Like that was the first one. The second one was this guy just staring at me, and I was feeling awkward. I was like, is there something in my face? Am I too ugly today? I do look so sick today. And I just look at him and give him this, innocent smile. I was like, are you Vivyan Hamo from Instagram? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, keep the good work. I'm like, oh my God. And you know what the funny story is? The Chaldeans did not know I have already an account. And they're like, can we ask you a question? I'm like, are you famous? I'm like, no. I'm like,
yes,
no,
you
no.
are. You are
and
famous.
My friend was like, oh, stop lying. It's a sin. Yes, she is. And this is her Instagram. They were blown up. Like, what the heck? We were with you for one day in the bus for 11 hours, and we are marching together, and we are the last one to know. So it was that. That's really funniest story ever. And then I met two people that I took selfies with them. I met him. He's like, hey, and I was like, hi, and I hugged him, and he called his friend that I know her. I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's so gorgeous. And he's like, hey, you know what? Here's Vivyan. She ran to me like she was my mother.
Aww.
She hugged me so tight, and my heart was just melt. And she introduced me to her group and to her priest. Like, hey, this is Vivyan Hamo. She's famous. I'm like, stop saying this. stop saying this. And then I was walking like a mile, and then someone's like, hey, Vivyan. And I was like, oh, whoa, guess what? 3 more people. And it was the most innocent things ever to meet them. And actually, I was walking, I did hang out with 2 of them. The other group, I could not because it was short of time. But I did meet 2 of them. We were walking, and after the march, when I came, actually, I didn't meet some of them because, like I said, when you are with your group, you cannot leave the group. And I was not allowed to leave until 3:30. So it was really tight. And one more note that when I came back to Michigan and started to post about it, people messaged me. They're like, we stumbled by you, but we're like, nah, this is not Vivyan Hamo. She's in Michigan. And I was like, what in the world? I was laughing so hard. Like, they literally like, passed by me because I said in my Instagram that I'm wearing a pink coat, pink fur. If you see it, that's me. So people are like, that's pink, but nah, this is not Vivyan Hamo. She's in Michigan. I was laughing so hard. I was like, no way. I meet some of you that they didn't say hi because they thought that, oh, you know what? She's famous. Why would she be walking with other people? Like, excuse me, I'm not. I'm here for a good cause. But yeah, and I was in the front of the pro-life. I was like shouting so hard and just telling the boys, like, keep the sign up. Like, Vivyan, you are so bossy. I don't care. Keep the sign up.
So
we are Chaldeans. We were laughing so hard. And at the end of the day, the guy who was holding the sign, he followed me on Instagram. And he's like, it was so nice meeting you. I'm like, excuse me, are you the guy who was holding the sign? He was laughing so hard. I did not even know him that I know him in Instagram. So, yeah, I was shouting at him, poor guy. And then he's like, yeah, I know you. He's like, I know you. I'm a Chaldean.
That's awesome. So do you remember any of these guys? You want to give them a shout out? I know that sometimes the Instagram names are hard.
Oh my goodness. At I am Tris, something like that. And Renee, I know people know Renee. She's very famous. New Catholic generation. What else? I don't really remember the names though. Some of them really have a long names, and don't speak really that good English, so saying the names wrong will really cost me a lot.
Okay, no worries.
But whoever is listening to this, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Seeing you was the biggest joy in my heart, and you guys are my inspiration, believe it or not. I don't believe I'm famous. I don't believe I'm so wise, blah, blah, blah. No. You guys give me that faith and that thirsty for God. Believe it or not, you are. You are, and we are the generation that we're going to stand tall against sin, against evil, with a smile in our faces. And even if the whole world is against us, Jesus is behind our back. Who cares? Give them a smile, give them a prayer, and leave it to God.
Amen. All right, so I'm going to, on that same note, I'm going to give you about a minute or 2 minutes to give your parting shots, your last few words for this show. If our listeners out there could walk away with one thing from this show, what would you like for them to walk away with?
Okay, so if you've never been to March for Life, I cannot really judge you because I know financially and work and family can be biggest obstacle. Please, I pray from the bottom of my heart that next year try to make it. Try to bring a friend with you. If you're a pro-choice, why you are pro-choice? What's your goal about pro-choice? Just think about it and just try to march for us. Don't even say pro-life. Don't say like save the babies. Just march and listen. Listen of what we are shouting. We are shouting for women. We are for women. We are not against women. And lastly, just pray. Pray. You can shout. You can do marches all the time. You can debate all the time. Please pray. Prayer first before anything you step. Pray, and believe me, God will not disappoint in you. He did not disappoint his people in the Old Testament, and he will not leave you or disappoint you.
Amen, sister. Amen. All right. Thank you so much for that, Vivyan, and I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm going to thank you again here in a little bit, but that music that you're hearing is our cue letting us know that we're out of time for this week's episode of Fire Away, brought to you by Catholic Ammo. Many thanks to all who are listening, and special thanks again, so special thanks to you, Vivyan, for coming back onto the show, and I hope you'll join us again in the future. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. And on episode 45, we discussed a lot. We talked about, how you've been doing in these past few months since the last time I talked with you. We've talked about your experiences in the March for Life. We talked about the different controversial things that deal with being pro-life. And we even talked about that one young kid, Nick Sandman, who is suffering a lot right now because of misconstruing of truth. And at the very end, you gave us some really awesome shout-outs. And now that we've come to the end, I was hoping that you'd close us out in prayer.
Absolutely. I'll be praying Hail Mary in my language, Aramic again. Baba, Brona, Roha, Kutsha, Kalahin. سلام الأخ مريم ليث النعمة مارا أمخ بورختي وتبئنشا برخيرة بيرتكاسخ إيشا مات مريم يمد آلها صالم بدالا أخني حطاي ذهب ضوع الدان موثنا أمين شو حتى بابا برونا روحا فتشا لا أمين.
Amen. For more thought-provoking, soul-enriching content, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under @CatholicAmmo. Again, that's @CatholicAmmo. And be sure to check out more Fire Away on WCATradio.com/Fire Away. This is your host, Carlos Bersabe. Until next Friday, keep mission-focused and stay locked, loaded, and ready.
Failure is not an option.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed the program and will join us back for another show on WCAT Radio. This is Sebastian Mahfoud. Good day.